Hello, myself Vikrant Singh. Welcome to another video. Today our topic of study is what is a writ and where a writ petition is filed. Before moving further, let's learn about writ. Here is the definition of writ: a formal order of writing issued under seal in the name of a sovereign, government, court, or other authority, commanding an officer or other person to whom it is issued to do or refrain from doing some act specified therein. The Supreme Court or the High Court are permitting to issue warrants, directions, and orders. One can file a writ petition in the High Court under Article 226 of the Indian Constitution, and one shall file a writ petition in the Supreme Court under Article 32 of the Constitution. Article 226 of the Indian Constitution. Power of High Courts to issue certain writs. The Article 22(6) subclause 1 says that notwithstanding anything in Article 32, every High Court shall have powers throughout the territories in relation to which it exercises jurisdiction, to issue to any person or authority, including in appropriate cases in government within those territories, directions, orders, or writs, including writs in the nature of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibitions, quo warranto, and certiorari, or any of them for the enforcement of any of the rights conferred by Part 3 and for any other purposes. Fundamental rights under Part 3 of Indian Constitution. Fundamental rights in India are the rights guaranteed under Part 3, Article 12 to 30. There are 6 fundamental rights recognized by the Indian Constitution: the right to equality, Article 14 to 18, and the right to freedom, Article 19 to 22. The right against exploitation, Article 23 to 24. The right to freedom of religion, Article 25 to 28. Cultural and educational rights, Article 29 to 30. And the right to constitutional remedies, Article 32 and 226. Types of writs under Constitution of India. There are 5 types of writs under the Constitution as habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto. Let's talk about the first writ as the habeas corpus, which means you may have the body. A writ requiring a person under arrest to be brought before a judge or into court, especially to secure the person's release unless lawful grounds are shown for their detention. What are the circumstances of unlawful detention? The detention was not done in accordance with the procedure laid down. For instance, the person was not produced before a magistrate within the 24 hours of his arrest. And the second one is the person was arrested when he did not violate any law. And the third one is an arrest was made under a law that is unconstitutional. There is a very important case on habeas corpus as ADM Jabalpur versus Shivkant Shukla, 1976. ADM Jabalpur is perhaps the most infamous judgment of the Supreme Court. The issue at hand in ADM Jabalpur was whether writ petitions could be filed during a period of emergency. Delivered at the height of the emergency declared by the Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, the court in ADM Jabalpur held that the right under Article 21, including habeas corpus, were suspended during a period of emergency. The Janata Party led government that followed the Indira Gandhi government reversed the judgment through the 44th Amendment to the Constitution. This amendment ensured that Article 21 could not be suspended even in the event of an emergency proclamation. The Supreme Court itself in K.S. Puttaswamy went on to discard the ADM Jabalpur decision, with Justice D.Y. Chandrachud writing, "The judgment rendered by all the 4 judges constituting The majority in ADM Jabalpur are seriously flawed. Mandamus writ. What is the meaning of mandamus? A judicial writ issued as a command to an inferior court or ordering a person to perform a public or statutory duty. Mandamus is a Latin word which means we command. Mandamus is an order from a superior court to a lower court or tribunal or public authority to perform an act which falls within its duty. It is issued to secure the performance of public duties and to enforce private rights withheld by the public authorities. Grounds of the writ of mandamus. The writ of mandamus issued have the following grounds: that the petitioner has a legal right, there is infringement of the legal right of the petitioner, the infringement is due to non-performance of the duty by the public authority, that the petitioner has demanded the performance of the legal duty by the public authority and the authority has refused to act. There has no effective alternative legal remedy. There is also a case, as in the case of Shivendra versus Nalanda College 1962, when the governing body of a college appointed a new principal after interviewing the candidates and considering their application, mandamus would not be issued on the petition of an unsuccessful candidate as he has no legal right to be appointed. A second writ is writ of prohibition. A writ of prohibition is a writ directing a subordinate to stop doing something the law prohibits. This writ is often issued by a superior court to the lower court, directing it not to proceed with a case which does not fall under its jurisdiction. So, what are the grounds for issuing writ of prohibition? The first ground is absence or excess of jurisdiction. Where there is an absence of jurisdiction or total lack of jurisdiction. The second one is violation of natural justice. In case where the principle of natural justice have not been observed, or if observed, there is a violation of those principles. For example, if the opposite party have not been served with the notice and not been heard, then the writ of prohibition can be issued. Third one is unconstitutionality of statute. Whenever any tribunal or court proceed to act under law which is ultra vires or unconstitutional, a writ of prohibition can be issued against the proceedings. Fourth ground is infringement of fundamental right. Where the impugned action is infringing any fundamental right of the petitioner, then the writ of prohibition can be issued. Last and fifth ground is error of law apparent on the face of record. Another writ we are going to discuss is writ of certiorari. In law, certiorari is a court process to seek judicial review of a decision of a lower court or government agency. Certiorari comes from the name of an English prerogative writ issued by a superior court to direct that the record of the lower court be sent to the superior court for a review. Certiorari means to be certified. The writ of certiorari can be issued by the Supreme Court or any High Court of quashing the order already passed by an inferior court, tribunal or quasi-judicial authority. The grounds on which the writ of certiorari may be issued are: the first one is error of jurisdiction, the second is lack of jurisdiction, and the third is excess of jurisdiction, and the fourth is abuse of jurisdiction, and the fifth is error of law apparent on the face of the record, and the last ground is violation of principles of natural justice. The last writ among the 5 writs given under the Constitution is the writ of quo warranto. The word quo warranto means by what warrants. It is a writ issued with a view to restraining a person from acting in a public office to which he is not entitled. The writ of Quo warranto is used to prevent illegal assumptions of any public office or usurpation of any public office by anybody. For example, a person of 62 years has been appointed to fill a public office where the retirement age is 60 years. Now, the appropriate High Court has a right to issue a writ of quo warranto against the person and declare the office vacant. Here's the case. In case of Jamalpur Arya Samaj versus D. Ram, writ petition was moved to the High Court by the petitioner against the member of Working Committee of Bihar Raj Aryan Pratinidhi is a private religion association. Court dismissed the petition on the ground that a writ of quo warranto can't be issued against a private association. Hope now you understand about what is a writ given under the Constitution and enforced by High Court and Supreme Court. Thanks for watching the video, and please don't forget to subscribe and comment below. Thank you.